In this Ventra XT video, we're going to be setting up and adding a variable light to our controller. To add the variable lights, we're going to go to Menu Hotkeys, System Control Device Setup, then we're going to touch and highlight Add Control Device, press Enter, and now we're going to scroll through our list to find Vary Lights. There's Vary Lights, there's Vary Lights right there. So we highlight that, press Enter. Now we're going to choose which Vary Lights this is, and in the event that you have multiple variable lights in your barn, of course you would choose number 1, number 2, number 3, where we only have one set, so we're going to leave it at number 1, arrow over. Now we're going to choose the zone that these lights are in. If you have multiple zones in your barn, you want to choose which zone they're in. Zone 1, 2, 3. Ours is in zone 1, so we only have one zone, so then we're going to, whoop, too far. Then we're going to arrow over. Now we're going to choose the module it's on. Remember, with the Ventra XT, we have the analog output board that is a new feature on this, and we do have the option of choosing a 0 to 10 volt analog output, which with the Vary Lights, that's what we were going to be using, and that is module 2. So you want to make sure that you choose the module available, and it won't let you go to 1. It will let you go up higher than that, but it won't let you go to 1 because it knows that it needs the analog output. So we're going to choose module 2, and then we're going to choose the channel that it is wired to. And in this case, we are wired to channel 7. So module 2, channel 7. Press enter to confirm, and we have now added our varied lights. Then back to the home screen, main menu. Now output devices. Now here's your main hotkeys for your device output channels. Of course, they're not there because this is module 1. As you see up here, we hit next module, and now it says module 2. And there, channel 7, there's our Vary Lights. So we touch that, and now we can finish setting up the other features. So first off, of course, we have the run for. Now, once you set your light ramp in there and you have your lights ramping on their, on their daily basis, and then your on and off times throughout your ramp cycle, in the event that something's going on that you want to just turn your lights on for a little bit, maybe at a different percentage than what you're running with the dimming, here's where you can set that. So, like if you were working in your barn for some reason and you had your lights at 30%, well, you needed to brighten them up because you needed to do something and see a little better. You could go in there and set this for, you got hours, minutes, and seconds. You could go in there and set this for, say, 20 minutes, enter, and then we want to go up to, say, 75%. Press enter, and as you see, your timer already begins to count down. And then after the 20 minutes at 75%, it's going to go back to whatever your lights were set up with on their ramp. Now as we go down, we have our minimum ramp on percent. So as you're ramping with your dusk and your dawn and those types of things, you have your minimum ramp on percent. So this is going to be the lowest that your lights will come on when they begin to ramp. So in the morning when you're doing the dawn, or at night when you're doing the dusk, if it's going down to say 5 or 10% and then shutting off, this would be, you'd put it at like 3 or 5% to be your lowest starting ramp on point. And again, this is going to also depend on the type of light bulbs you have as to how low they can be turned down. Cold calf bulbs are different than LED bulbs and such, so you'll have to make sure you set those for whatever works best for your situation. I'm just going to put 5% as an example for now. Then we come down here to our off to on ramp time. And this is going to be the amount of time that it takes for your, say, your dusk and your dawn, how long it's going to take to ramp down or ramp up, I should say, off to on. So you're going from off to on. So when you're doing your dawn, if you want 15 minutes for those lights to slowly work up to their dimmable on setting, you would set that here. So if you want to take 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes for that dawn ramping up of the lights, you can do that. Whatever suits your management style. And then arrow down, and the same way here with your on to off. So now your dusk time, again, 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever works for your ramping or for your management style. So it will take now 20 minutes, the way I have it set, in the morning and the evening, for those to come on and go up to your percentage settings, and then go from your percentage settings off and go out at nighttime. Arrow down again, and now we have our ramp to where we're actually going to set our ramping in there. And this is just a normal light curve. Whatever you put in there for your lights, like if this is your day one, this is a poultry application, so to speak. So we got day one, and let's say we're going to bring those lights on at 6 a.m. Or sorry, let's clear that and go back. So we got day one, enter. Now we want our lights on 24 hours for those first few days, most of the time in a poultry application. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our on time for 0. We're going to set our off time for 2400 hours, and then our lights will stay on. And, odds are those are going to be. And is this a dusk to dawn mode, or is this a spike mode? You can choose whichever, which in this case, of course, is dusk to dawn. So we set that, and that's what the DD stands for. If it's the SPK, then you're spiking your lights, which you can set that in between your regular ramp. If you're doing your dusk to dawn, then you can go in, and if you want to spike your lights a couple times during the day, you can do that. We come down here, and then say day 3, we're going to have our lights on at 6 a.m. and off at, say, 2200 hours. And there's your dusk to dawn. So at that time, probably still at 100%, but if you're starting to bring a little bit off, you can set that whatever you want. And again, is this a spike or is this a dusk to dawn? It's a dusk to dawn, so we're going to leave that there. Then you would just continue that on as you go through it. And you have a sort table over here. So in the event that you come in and you want to change something and add something or subtract something, you'll just go in there and put your age, put your times on and off. And if you want to put a day 2 in there, you could go ahead and add your 2, add your times, hit sort table, and it'll put it in chronological order. That's what the sort table is for. And again, all these things are defined in the Ventra XT manual. So if you need to refer to that to get a little more clarity or some more information as you start to set up your controller, definitely look through the Ventra XT manual. It's got a lot of good information in there. And that is how you set your variable light group on the Ventra XT.